What's up, everybody? I look like shit. I got bags under my eyes. I got a fucking headache. I didn't really get much sleep last night, but we're gonna try to examine the new Game of Thrones documentary, The Last Watch. I'm gonna try to make sense here because my brain is not functioning at 100%. But let's just dive in. The documentary dropped last night. I'm kind of surprised how quickly they got this out. It seems like they're definitely trying to fill that Sunday slot and keep the content going, which is totally understandable. They're also really trying not to lose subscribers, which, for the people that came to HBO simply to watch Game of Thrones, I totally get that. There are also a lot of really good shows on HBO in general right now. Like, I got Barry, Sharp Objects, that Watchmen show is coming. I'm hoping that's good. There are reasons to stick around other than more Game of Thrones content. That being said, this documentary is really well made. The shots are great. I mean, it's just about as immersive as the actual show, if not better, because you're actually dealing with real humans and their life drama while they're trying to put together this just fucking enormous show, and all the things that go into that, dealing with the people, dealing with the conditions of shooting remotely, in Iceland, and all the little things that contribute to that. And I think that's really interesting. I love watching this kind of documentary about production and how shows are made. That being said, I'm gonna dig into a little bit of what I like and what really pissed me off about this documentary. And it's not the documentary itself. The people involved, the production crews, the makeup people, every facet, including the actors. You know where this is going. I'm going to shit on the writing, but they're doing amazing work, and they deserve a lot of credit for how the scale of what they've done to this show. And hopefully they get something good after that. They're involved in other productions in the future. But yeah, it's kind of depressing. It really upset me because I was starting to feel bad for the production crews. There's this level of stress, and you're gonna have that with trying to get a production done and trying to get all these people to organize within their different groups and their fields and come together to make the show work. But they seemed rushed. They're talking about crunch time a lot. They're dealing with the conditions of all the remote shooting, the long night shots. That as most people know, that took over. I think it was like 85 days. They were out there in Iceland shooting at fucking night. And they also had problems with like the bathrooms and plumbing and stuff like that because it was so fucking cold. So we get to follow a few people. I'm not going to go through names and try to get the specifics. Just watch the documentary. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's one guy who works on like the snow. He like makes all the fake snow for like the Winterfell scenes and everything like that. And he's trying to deal with actual snow on top of all this other shit going on. You've got these great set builders that pretty much like construct these castles like from scratch, and the way they set up King's Landing to basically destroy it. It looks great, and these people are geniuses. They're great at their craft. However, it's just extremely frustrating to watch these people deal with the set of conditions that the showrunners, I'm blaming the showrunners, the directors and the writers, to set up this whole elaborate thing in regards to the long night. And as you're watching this and how they're, filming everything and setting it up, you can kind of tell, like, even the staff is like, why the fuck are we here? Why are we out in the middle of a tundra trying to basically do a movie? And they talk about that a lot too. They're like, well, this is barely a show anymore. This is on the scale of like a big time film, and that's not just like a 2 hour runtime movie. That's the extended length of the episodes, from this season, and them trying to put it all together so very quickly. In regards to that, you're watching the filming, you're watching them set everything up. They finally like get the conditions that they need to do shoots, and then you realize everything is on a green screen. So it raises the question to me. I'm sure there's some sort of logistic reason that this happened, but to me it seems kind of fucking stupid. Like, you're gonna make people come out and shoot at this location and try to make this work, And also, kind of bring their best work to the table too. Like everyone's trying their best in this end run here. It raises the question when you see, the effort that went into building the sets and setting up all this stuff and getting everyone out to this location to shoot. It really bothers me that they would do all that and then put a green screen literally behind everything. I think every shot of the Long Night episode involved like a green screen behind every character. I just don't understand why they wouldn't shoot it in a studio then. I mean, they could have still made the sets within a studio and green screened everything else. So it really bugs me. Like, it really makes it seem like they were pushing these people to like their fucking limits for almost no reason. That's the thing, is like all the actors involved, even in the reading, like they're doing their best jobs, but you kind of see their reactions to the script and it's not good. Like seeing the sides of the production people and the actors and all that kind of like have their lives interrupted by, and that's gonna happen. That's what you signed up for. But just the extent of all the things that they had to do to make this final season so huge, it really seems like it backfired, and the staff is stressed, and it's it's hard to watch when these people are so stressed and they're under crunch time. And then the makeup lady, she's like missing her family and her kids, and like they miss all these holidays trying to get everything done. It's like they picked the least disgruntled people out of like the staff. Like they got the head of makeup and like the head of doing all the snow on the sets and all that stuff. They're pretty cheery people, but you can still see that they're getting extremely stressed out. And there are points that they're kind of like joking, but they're like, oh man, I could just fucking cry. Like I'm gonna go into my trailer and just be depressed. See you guys. And it really sucks to see them like not having a good time on like this final production of this show. It brings with an egomania from the showrunners that they thought, oh, we have to do all these things to make this production huge. We have to be even bigger than the last season. This has to be just gigantic. But from a production standpoint, it seems like they kind of like blew their fucking load all over doing all this other shit. Even though they could have just set up a giant green screen in a big warehouse and had decent lighting, and we wouldn't be still arguing about how everything is toned in the Long Night episode. And with the media reports, like the news that came out today about the documentary, it kind of focuses on the actors. We get this clip of, and this is a pretty interesting moment in the documentary itself, where they're doing the reading for the last episode. And, Kit Harington gets pretty emotional. Daenerys, or Amelia, she gets a little... She just makes like this really awkward face when when they read it, because I guess he didn't know that he was going to kill her. She had read the script at some point before the reading and knew that was coming up. So, yeah, her reaction is very interesting. It's almost like... almost like a cringe moment. And then we have Varys. We get to see him read like his last line, and then he just like takes the script and just like fucking chucks it on the table. You can tell he's like, I don't think he's like just upset. I think he's like genuinely bothered by like what the fuck is happening with the story. And you can kind of see like Lena Headey, I think that's how you say her name. She just looks so unengaged. Like she's getting her money, she's there, she's kind of consoling him, and it's just you could tell that she's kind of frustrated too. I mean,
Grey Worm leads Varys, hands bound, down the beach.
I told you what would happen if you betrayed me.
You did.
Lord Varys, I, Daenerys of House Targaryen, first of my name, breaker of chains and mother of dragons, sentence you to die. Dracarys.
Drogon spews fire on him, but we don't watch our old friend burn. Instead, we see the reactions of those who knew him. Tyrion is heartbroken. Jon is disturbed. Grey Worm sees this as the just execution of a traitor.
To conclude, you should definitely watch the documentary. It is well done. It is really interesting to see these sides of production. But it fucking pissed me off. It really upset me to see these hardworking people basically just kind of get shit on the whole time. The staff, because they've worked together so long, and they all kind of know each other and are familiar with each other. I think there's one lady, she says something to the effect of like, thought this was gonna be like a grand finale, good time, like finishing it, and like it's just so fucking stressful that like they just want to be done and gone. And that's unfortunate because like they definitely have pride in their work. Yeah, like not a good look, honestly, not a good look on the showrunners. And it's good that they put this documentary out so that we could see that. But I feel bad for the people involved. The humans involved definitely suffered. You know, for something that wasn't as grand as they hoped it would be. Whatever the next production is for D&D, whatever this Star Wars movie is going to be, I really hope that they don't do this kind of shit to their staff, because it's going to destroy these people. Like it's not, I'm sure they're paid well, but if they do some crazy shit like this again, instead of kind of like taking notes from Endgame and how they did this huge production, like the final battle there, like basically all on green screen in studio. They need to learn that shit really quickly, because if they do some weird stuff like they did here, I can't imagine that they would be getting more work in the future. But then again, it falls on to the lower staff members and the people who are just trying their best to make something happen. So my heart goes out to them. I hope they're doing okay now.